Nearly a month after the Ever Forward cargo ship got stuck in the Chesapeake Bay, a new effort is underway to free the vessel. After two failed attempts, this latest endeavor to free the container ship is expected to take several days. The goal is to remove containers from both sides of the ship and transport them on barges. The Ever Forward has been stuck since March 13th. It's carrying about 5,000 containers of general dry foods. Dr. Salvatore Mercogilliano is an associate professor of history at Campbell University. He also holds a Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation. Thanks for being with us today. So how are the efforts to move the Ever Forward going forward?
It's taken a big change today. So today they've been able to bring out crane barges and they've started taking containers off the vessel. It's a slow process. This is a lot slower than being pierside. They're moving about one container every 10 minutes. The hope is over the next week to 10 days to take off about 550 containers, remove some ballast from the vessel, and while they're dredging, get enough water underneath the keel to be able to pull her off.
So the PR department must just be in total crisis mode of this company, right? It was put on the map with the Ever Given in the Suez Canal, now the Ever Forward. How does this happen twice?
Yeah, they're not having great press right now, but it's also true that Evergreen is one of the largest shipping companies in the world. There are about 9 large container companies. And one of the big issues here is not so much Evergreen, but really the growth and size of these vessels. Both Ever Given and Ever Forward were designed to the limits of the routes they sail on. Ever Given was built to the size and dimensions of the Suez Canal, and Ever Forward was built to the dimensions of the Panama Canal. And this is all part of that supply chain issue we've been seeing, where we have a demand for goods and the bigger ships are more cost effective.
And so does the infrastructure need to change to accommodate bigger ships, or do the ships need to just scale it down a little bit because something clearly is not working?
No, I think it's a very good point. We've dredged and built new cranes and harbors and facilities to handle these vessels, but some things haven't kept up. The dredging capability, the large tugs used in salvage operations haven't kept up. And when you're operating ships this large in and out of U.S. ports, you really need that little bit more of infrastructure that we have not invested in yet.
So I understand you've looked at the salvage plan. What does that look like?
So they're going to be taking the containers off over the next 7 to 10 days. And at the same time now they're hooking up barges to the stern that are actually anchored ashore, anchored to the bottom of the floor there. And what they hope to do is once they get the ship lighter, about 10,000 tons lighter, they're going to use the 2 barges off the stern to pull the vessel back toward the channel. At the same time, tugboats will try to pivot her stern into the channel, and then using the ship's engines, they'll go in astern and try to back her off. Following that, they'll have to go into Baltimore to assess the damage to the vessel. She's been sitting now for almost a month on her bottom, something ships are not designed to do.
Yeah, so is that the cause of all this, that it was just too many containers, it was too heavy for the ship, or do we know the cause?
No, it's probably one of 2 primary causes. Either it was a mechanical issue with the steering gear or a human error cause. The vessel had been maneuvering regularly. They had been making their course changes. They just failed to make the turn southbound into Craig Hill Channel. And when they failed to make that turn, they went right into shallow water. She's drawing about 42 feet of water, but she's sitting right now in anywhere from 18 to 24 feet of water.
Wow. So who ends up paying for all this?
Well, right now it's Ever Given and their insurance company that's paying for that. However, Ever Given announced a maritime practice called general average. And what general average means is those who have cargo on board are going to be responsible for a portion of that salvage. Now, we don't know how much this is going to cost yet. It really depends on the scope and scale. As of this period, we've never had to see a major container ship have to offload containers off at anchor like this. So this is a really unfathomed waters here for us. We've never really seen this happen. But some of the costliest salvages we've seen are salvages like Golden Ray in Georgia, Costa Concordia in Italy. That was almost $1 billion, but this should never come anywhere close to that.
All right, well, this is the most clarity I've gotten on this issue so far. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate having you.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.